become a dentist, they'll be glad when you're dead. You'll get a bigger hand if you stand on your head. Be a clown, be a clown, be a clown. Be a clown, be a clown. All the world loves a clown. Be a crazy buffoon. And the damoiselles will all soon dressed in huge baggy pants. And you'll ride the road to romance. A butcher or a baker ladies never embrace. A barber for a beau would be a social disgrace. They'll all come and fall if you can fall on your face. Be a clown, be a clown, be a clown.
This is very serious, and I have to tell my audience about this gentleman who's... Why do you tell me that just before I have to make a serious little talk with my... they may not know about you. I would just want to tell you a little bit about this gentleman with whom I am spending the day today. I'm never going to let him out of my sight. He is a comedian. That's the funniest line I ever heard in my life. He's an actor. He's a television star. He's a motion picture
can't say it with a straight face. That's what I like about it.
I'm really trying. He's a big motion picture star. He's a writer of stories. That's a funny line. He has written some...
Anytime you want to let us all in on it, let us know.
Oh, that's funny. And he's written some 2,000 songs. He's an artist. 5,000 songs. Oh, I didn't know that. See, I'm behind time.
We're all friends.
Yeah, I get behind it. He's an artist whose paintings are invaluable and very much in demand. He's the greatest American pantomimist. Red Skelton.
Oh,
what can I tell you?
You know, thank you.
Did I ask you something?
Yes.
Did I leave anything out?
No. Oh, I raise bonsai trees and all that kind of things, too.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Plant gardens. I do architectural work.
Architectural work.
I have fun. I have fun, Dinah.
I know.
I like to surprise people with things like I got you to laughing. I think I should tell them. I have a special guest that Dinah doesn't know about that I brought with me. He's a 4-foot midget. And he's going to swallow, he's a sword swallower, and he's going to swallow this 6-foot sword. Now, he's back over there rehearsing. Now, everything okay, Charlie? Well, I told him not to bow. That's silly. I like ridiculous things like that. That's funny, though.
I think that's funny. Otherwise, I'm really bananas because I can't stop. I want to tell you something funny, though. This may not be the best show we've ever had technically because the crew, everybody here, they're all watching you.
I know they coming in this afternoon. There were a lot of the fellows with the gate. All the guards were lined up.
Yeah.
They thought I was bringing stuff back. Now, you know, I'm not kidding about that. I was at this studio here.
They're not either.
They know. There'd be a prop on this, and I'd say, put it in the car, will you? And we used to take things out of here all the time. Now, one night, they said, hey, you know, they've got guards downstairs. Now, all of a sudden, we look around here with these policemen from the Burns Agency or something like that, and they says, people are stealing things from the studio. I says, no. So I start out the door, and I've got a Celeste. You know these little Celestes?
You got that out the door going up?
I said to the guy, I said, would you help me put this in the car? He said, certainly, one of the officers. Now, there's a couple of musical shows that's doing specials or something around Christmas time when you need a Celeste, you know? So they said somebody stole the Celeste. I said, they did? I said, yeah. So I said, I'll tell you where it's at, and I'll bring it back tomorrow. Now, I did the same thing at Metro. I stole a grand piano.
No.
A grand piano.
That's hard.
It wasn't easy. There was... Frank Sinatra was the director of the first movie that I was in called Flight Command. And they had a breakaway prop. And now they had about 30 of them there, and they only used about 10 of them to, do it wrong. Do it again. So I said, hey, could I have one of those things? He says, you couldn't get it out of this studio. I says, I couldn't? He says, no, they watch everything like a hawk. Well, I went over to the Culver City Van and Storage Company and put on a white suit, and I hired a truck, and I came in the back gate. True. Come in the back gate, and I said to the fellow, I says, we're over here from the storage company, coming up to somebody for the prop department. The guy says, huh? And I says, we're right up the other end, and we drove on. Now we drive up, the guy says, where are we going? I said, let's pull up here. So it was the prop department. I didn't know I was going to take. So... there was a huge piano. This thing has to be the biggest piano that Jose Iturbe used it, And oh yeah, it was a tremendous thing. So I said to the fellow, I says, we're here to pick up a piano. He says, well, I don't know. That's the only thing we got around here. I said, that'll do. That must be it. I said, that's a white piano, isn't it? I said, that's what we want. Now, not only did they help us load it on the truck, they took the legs off so they wouldn't break. See? Now we take it and we store it over at the storage company. And a few days later, everybody was talking about some idiot stole the piano off the lot. She says, that big piano? Yeah. So finally one day they says, hey, they're in trouble because they have to do retakes. They previewed the picture and they had to do retakes with Iturbe at the piano, see? So I walked in and I said to Jerry Mayer, and I'm new at the studio because I didn't know anybody. All the time I was here at the studio, I used to say, hi, you fellas, because if I find out who someone is and he's important, I cater to him, see? And I don't like that. I like everybody to be the same, so I always say, hi, fellas, and we're all friends. So one day, a gray-haired fellow walks by, going into the commissary, and he stops. He says, how are things going? I says, fine. He says, the part good. I said, I think this is it, and if it is, I'll get you promoted. So as he walked on, I said, who was that? He said, that was L.B. Mayer. Yeah. So anyhow, I go into Jerry Mayer's office. I says, Jerry, I hear somebody stole the piano. He says, what do you know about it? I says, when do you need it? And I told him. He says, boy, I'll tell you, I'll do anything for you because we really need that piano. So I says, I was in that prop department over there and I saw a chess set, big, huge sets of chess like that. I would love to have a chess set. I don't play chess, but I'd like that chess set.
You made a deal.
He says, it's yours. Now, 3 days later, they call me up and they says, we need the chess set for retakes. I said, it'll cost you $25 a day. Yeah, but in those days, money meant something, Yeah, today, a nickel's only good to make change for a quarter.
Listen, when you did the live television, we both did live television shows. Did you ever play tricks on each other?
Yes. We used to have bets that I wouldn't say certain things on live air. and I would get right up to the punchline and change it so that it wouldn't be too many letters. And and you'd see Curly or some of the guys behind the camera. You see the camera shaking like this. They're laughing,
Fair.
But on the first day here at CBS, when they started color, I had been studying color for a good many years because I was interested in it. I gave up my contract at Metro to go into television. I was that interested, and I predicted it way in advance. I said what it's going to be like. So I had read books and different things on what to do. I went down into the makeup department, and I took a blue line, a red line, a green line, a yellow line across like this, and then I patted it in with rouge and stuff, and then I put a makeup over it. Now I'm in front of the camera. I look good. Everybody says, how are you? Fine. You don't look too strange because you had makeup over there. But when they hit you this electronics, you put a girl in a pink bathing suit like this, all they got to do is to go to blue and you look like you're nude sitting there. Honest, that's true. So you find out about these colors. So I came out plaid.
Did you really?
They looked at me and they says, what is this? Here's the big guy they've been waiting for color television for. This guy's plaid. So I go down and I take off the makeup. Now I go down and I take eyeshadow, green eyeshadow, and put it all over here. Now they're working on me. They get this side cleared up, that side would go green. Now, none of these, all of these technicians, they'd all been in television about the same length of time, 10 minutes.
Oh,
we didn't know what.
Like this group.
Yeah, we've all been in here. Like one of the little guys came up today, and I says, they've changed this around. He said, I don't know, I've only been here a month. I says, you know much about television. Anybody else around here, don't let it bother you. I said, stay here another week, you'll be an executive.
Not here to learn, just have fun.
So they a little fellow by the name of Cohen, I don't know if he's here anymore or not. A little man walked with a limp. And he walked right by me, and I says, what's wrong? He says, that jerk's turning green, you know? He didn't even recognize me. Everyone was in panic. Well, we did things like that.
Well, we did a live a show once, and we had a kind of a little bit of a disaster. But you handled it. But I didn't want to I wanted to ask you one question before we get to our, I think we've got that film clip here, or television clip. You had a guest on one time on your show who got absolutely plastered, soused, pickled.
Oh, yeah, a very dear friend of mine.
And how did you you handle it?
I knew how good he was, so we supplied him before he came on. No, a great star, a great man, and at the time, and this happened 3 weeks before his death, by the way, and he drank pretty heavy. He was with a very young girl who kept supplying him with booze all the time. And so I said, he's in there drinking vodka. So I said, hide the bottle. So I hide the bottle, we'd walk by a few minutes later, here's another thing there. He used to drink it like water, you know, and take another glass for a chaser, you know.
Beautiful man, too.
Yeah, wonderful man, great actor. And so finally I says, you know what? Pour the vodka out of there and just put water in the bottle. So they did, and he was sitting there drinking water, didn't even know the difference. You know?
Well, we had, I want to show them this clip because this, on a live show, when things happen, there's nothing, you don't have the 7 minutes, you don't have 7 seconds, no time at all to fix anything. And my disaster was minor compared to some of the ones that happened on your show, because you didn't rehearse as much as we did. But we've got a little clip here where Red saved me. Have you got that little?
Oh, I love to cook.
Yeah. I never got out of the kitchen even then.
Gently.
Yes.
Now,
all right.
let me look at it. Just as I thought. Just as I thought.
What did I do? What did I do?
It looks like you've been bowling with it.
Oh.
You bruised it, mine.
Are we insured for that sort of thing, dear?
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Turn around. Show him the zipper.
Oh, I can't show him the zipper. Wait.
They can. This may be the biggest. This may be the biggest show on the air tonight, dude. I tell you what, you better do. Call your friends right now. If we can get enough phone calls in the next half hour, we'll plan on it.
The whole just
Plan on it.
I know it. We'll be right back.
Imagine singing You're the Non-Fat Milk in My Coffee.
But, Steve, you can put back that delicious flavor.
Oh, Mocha Mix Non-Dairy Creamer.
Low in saturated fat and cholesterol-free. Pour a little Mocha Mix into non-fat milk. It gives a low-saturate diet something. Delicious.
How about on lumpy cereal?
Sure, cook with it, bake with it, use it alone or mixed. Just send for your free, low-saturate, low-cholesterol menu planner. The address is on the Mocha Mix carton.
Mocha Mix. There's nothing like Mocha Mix.
Nally's presents the Phyllis Diller Cooking School.
My husband Fang thinks I'm the world's greatest cook. But here's what fools him, girls. Nally's new Big Chunk Stew. It looks homemade and tastes homemade. Really big chunks of tender beef with 5 yummy vegetables in a rich beef gravy. So delicious, it's guaranteed better than any other stew you have ever bought. New Big Chunk Stew from Nally's.
Dinah was just telling me about how things have changed in television. She says her first show, she wasn't exactly prepared for it, but they brought a lady on. And says the stuff she said, and she said she thought she was from Sesame Street.
It was Miss J.
Yeah, well, she was, yeah, but the other side, Sesame Street.
Listen, Red.
Are we on?
Yeah, we're on. I wish you could see read it again. The whole crew, everybody. And well, I'll tell them about it.
These fellows over here. See, there's one of the executives.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's good to see somebody at CBS with his hands in his own pocket, I'll tell you that.
After some of those reclaim stories, yeah. Listen, a lot of people paint as a hobby. I love to paint. I really adore to, but I'm not.
Oh, yes, you are too, dear heart. I'm going to tell you something. You are a fine artist.
Oh.
And I have one of your, the prints, of course, from the Franklin Mint.
Right, we both had a commission.
Yes,
That's
yes.
exciting. We were commissioned to do a painting for the Franklin Mint, Red and I, and
Candace Bergen, Henry Fonda,
and Peggy Lee,
and Duke Ellington.
And, really exciting.
And the guy that's, that walks around with a pump on him all the time. He left his heart up in San Francisco. What's his name?
Oh, Tony
Bennett.
Anyway.
Can you imagine, they refer to your heart as a pump, you know? Can you imagine the horrible love songs that you would be singing now if they said pump instead of heart?
Like,
I left my pump. You've got to have pump.
Pump up my pump.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be something.
Pump.
There, yeah.
Okay,
That's
all
his
right,
name. Sweet pump, sweet pump, sweet pump. And the sweet pump. Yeah, and dramatic scenes.
Yeah.
Sir, this is my daughter. Do you realize what you've done to her? You've broke her pump. Yes.
A lot of people paint as a hobby. That's where we started this up. And I want to tell you that Red Skelton's paintings are now going for a large amount of bread. And I just thought I'd give you a little plug there. Just in
bread?
Case bread, money. That's money.
Oh.
Yeah.
You ever notice that about that? Ever since the beginning of time, money has always been associated with food. We used to say coffee and cakes.
Yeah, coffee and cakes.
Let's go out and have some lettuce.
Yeah.
Folding lettuce.
That's right.
I'm sorry to interrupt you again.
No, that's all right. These are fascinating.
Sometimes I talk, I interrupt myself.
Oh, anybody? Well, you spend a lot of time alone when you paint. I should think you'd have to find somebody to talk to.
I talk to myself.
Do you?
Know. I figured out a long time ago I'm nutsy, but I admit it.
Yeah, I've got a lot of us
I found out another thing, too. I may be nuts, but as long as I make money, they ain't gonna lock me up.
Listen, we both had our commission from the Franklin Mint, and that was when that check came in.
Yes.
That was most exciting because they sent it to me. They didn't send it to
the agent.
Agent or the business.
That had been the last you'd ever seen of it.
Right. That came straight to me.
You know, I earn money, and sometimes I don't know what it's for until they count it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, have you had any other commissions lately?
Yes. As a matter of fact, Burt Reynolds bought a painting for his mother and father from me.
That is so wonderful.
Yes, and he's a very dear man. He's a very dear man.
Well,
I hope he liked the painting. That was
he adored the painting.
Tried to get something out of her there, but, you know.
I'll tell you later.
Oh. Well, don't tell me.
Yeah.
Like my favorite, show me.
Yeah. Now, that painting is adorable. What he did was he did a clown, since Bert's father was a sheriff.
I didn't know that until after I painted it.
You're kidding, because he did him with a sheriff's badge and a noose that had just been cut, and the sheriff's hat. That was really cute.
And in the back of it, it says, vote.
Yeah. But now you paint a picture a day.
Yes.
Which is really, that's a great way to, if I paint on Sunday, I'm lucky. But
well, you know, I'll say one thing. People walk up and now they misuse the word genius. I walk away from any comments like that or any accolades that people want to give you because you can believe those things very easily. But people walk up and they say, how do you find time to do this? The trick is, they say to you, how do you find time to do the show and these other things? The trick is, if people would only learn, there is plenty of time. You are allotted that time. The trick is to make use of it.
Use it well.
Yes.
I know. That's really the truth. I find that I allow myself the luxury of just sort of vegetating a lot of the time, which is not right, because I could be doing what you're doing.
Oh, with a cook show, what else would you do?
There we are, back to food again.
Yeah.
They just cut to a shot.
There
of
was
one
a
of the
fast
clowns.
subliminal there.
Yeah.
Now, more people. Now, you know what they just did? This is a trick that they use on television, and you folks will get wise to it someday. They just flashed on the screen there. I saw it just in a, and I didn't believe it because I looked over and looked at the painting again. That's what they call subliminal. There'll be more people now write in and say, oh, that one.
Yeah.
Because it's in their mind, and it's so quick that they don't know where they saw it. Now when they see it again, they say, oh, I've seen that one before.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
But
it's like in an argument with a wife or a husband.
it is?
Well, sure. She'll say something, and then they listen for one word. We both listen. Oh, men and women, we listen for one word. Well, I was out in the car today. What were you doing in the car? Well, the guy bumped into... A guy bumped into the car? Now, your car drove over the cliff, see, but
Yeah.
you don't tell her that yet. But you find this one line to pick on her. What are we going to do now? My car's broken.
That's a great technique.
Sure, everybody uses it, but we insult each other every day of our life, and we don't realize we're doing it. Did you know that?
No.
Yes. Someone will come to your house. Have something else to eat. Oh, couldn't eat another bite. Oh, come on, we're going to have to throw it out anyhow. Or somebody says, I got this suit. I don't care much for it. The guy says, I had one just like it. Didn't look good on me either. Or another one, I'm going to leave now. I'll show you to the door. No, you don't have to. Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. The great one. It's raining. And the guy says, boy, it's really coming down, isn't it? Why don't you stay here tonight? Oh, it ain't raining that hard.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Sure, that's
Sure. Oh, you can
that's
get
really
a lot
great.
of... That's what I do. I sit around and think up these things, insults people have with each other.
They really do. Well, I didn't even think about that. Like, for instance, your clowns. I got to get back to the clowns.
Oh, right.
Why clowns?
Oh, I don't paint just clowns, dear heart.
I know it, but
most people they seem to like them better. I do landscapes. I do architectural drawings. I do quite a few things.
Well,
here and all. What was that?
Well, you know what? That's this fellow here. Isn't he adorable?
Oh, I painted that one evening with Margaret Keene. She was in the house visiting me down in Palm Springs.
The big eyes?
And I did the big eyes. And so she showed me how to do them. She says, make them real light down below. Oh, pardon me.
That's great. Now, where?
I don't remember that at all. Yes. I'm sorry, I have to apologize. I never eat before doing a show. But a few minutes ago, I had a tuna fish sandwich.
Oh, you're the commissary.
I don't like to complain, but I think they finally accepted Charlie. I'm going to tell you something. People may not know this, but when people come out to do a show and stuff, we never get to eat, right?
No, we don't.
Never get to eat. They got the commissaries. This one here and the one over at the other studio, NBC and CBS. I think both of those commissaries are having a gas war. I walked in out here and I ordered this steak, see, and the girl brought it to me and I said, I can't eat it. She says, well, you have to pay for it. You've been all out of shape. I said, I'm not going to eat it. You take it back to the kitchen and shove it down the chef's throat. She took the steak out to the kitchen, came right back with it. I said, did you do what I told you to? She says, I'm sorry, there's no other pork chops ahead of you. I'm awful. I'm not going to interrupt you anymore.
I don't believe you. All right, I'm going to try. You got a book. Here, this is an adorable book called Gertrude and Heathcliff. And it's by Red Skelton. And it was illustrated by the author. And you know how rare that is. And it's a delightful book. And you've autographed this one to Fred, our producer, for his little boy, Freddie. How did Gertrude and Heathcliff come into your life?
Oh, I think ever since I was a little boy, and after reading Aesop, and he asked the one question, do animals really talk to each other? And they do converse with each other, and they have their own beliefs. Now, for instance, not to change the subject again, but a skunk, for instance. People always bet they're the most religious animals in the world.
They are?
This is true. When a mother skunk's in trouble, she will call the little ones together and she'll say, children, let us pray.
Let's have, all right, can I have a Gertrude and Heathcliff specialty?
Yeah. They,
Oh, yeah.
they're flying. And he says, oh, look down there, it's the ship of fools. He says, the ship of fools? Well, how do you know it's the ship of fools? He says, they're looking up.
Have you ever seen? Hey, that's really good.
You thought I was dead, didn't you?
I did. I thought you were in Argentina or something.
Yes, they thought I was in Argentina.
Can I have mine?
What's it?
I want.
Oh, that's the one I did for you
Red?
years ago. Good
Red
heavens.
did this one. This was one of the first paintings I ever had, and Red did it. I don't even know the year, but I know I have treasured.
Well, it was when I was on your show, whenever that
Really?
was,
That was-
and that Chevrolet program.
Yeah, that's right. Mwah, you see. But isn't that? We'll be right back. We'll be I was Red, we've established over there that you're a collector of sorts, yes. Well, now, this gentleman here is a very serious collector, and he has a very interesting memorabilia. It's entirely different from a lot. Are you going to collect that? Please.
Oh,
Wow.
Please.
I'm quite a collector myself.
Well, Red,
I collect everything.
I told him about that.
Yeah, I collect Rolls Royces, for instance.
Oh, you had a red one. You had a red one, did you?
You know,
not?
I've got 6 of them, and I'll tell you, people walk up to me and they say, "Boy, you know, a lot of money." They say, I used to go out and I'd buy a car. Now people walk up to me and say, "What do you want with that many cars?" You know. Now I ask them, "How old are you? How many cars have you had in your life?" And they say, "Oh, maybe 8." Well, you see, what I did, I found out what they were going to give me on a trade-in, and I says, it's not worth it, and I kept the car.
Yeah.
And then I waited 3 or 4 years until I had saved up every year. See, they build them for 1 year. Let's not kid ourselves.
And so you got them?
I got them, and
Got
then
'em
when
all.
one goes wrong, then I don't get anything for a while. Now, these cars, I have one car, a 1950, that at the time I bought it, it was a used car to begin with, a Rolls Royce. I paid $10,000 for it. Today, I can get $45,000 if I want to sell it.
Oh.
Now, the people who had their old cars that they traded in, if they had kept those cars, right now they would be worth 12 times what they had for collectors.
So, you see, memorabilia is very important in collecting, and this gentleman is named Stan Kann.
Yes, I know.
And he feels that way very deeply. Go ahead. Try.
I had a Pierce Arrow. You know, while you were talking
Yes.
about your Rolls Royce, I collect Pierce Arrows.
Drove right in the middle of once. I thought it was 2 motorcycles.
You know, they had the headlights on the rear right. But you know, I have been collecting since I'm very small. And I've always, my big collection, of course, is vacuum cleaners. And I have been collecting vacuum cleaners since I'm 9. And I have 250 vacuum cleaners in my house.
You
but
have?
I do. They go all the way back to 1900, 1897. And I've always, I don't know why I would like them so well, but I've always enjoyed them. Sometime I'd like to show them to you because I really, but besides the vacuum cleaners, anything that's mechanical I like to collect. And I go into these shops, and it's interesting what people did at the turn of the century, how they worked in the kitchen. Now, you like kitchen work.
Yeah.
And it's
Not
interesting.
especially.
Well, you know, to see what grandmother had to do. Now, for instance, a little item like this.
I know what mine had to do.
Have you any idea, Red, what this... Have you any idea what this is?
Do I? What?
Have you any idea what this is? Either one of you know what this might be? It has a
let's see.
crank on the end of it.
Crank?
It has a
Here?
crank on the
Is it a
side.
crank?
Yeah.
May I guess?
Certainly.
I would say it's to make coleslaw with.
No, but that's a good guess because it does grind something. Now, you know...
Finger manicure.
No, it has two little things. You know, it's very... Have you ever tried to slice up a string bean when you're making Juliana string beans? Yeah. This is 1906, and they would take two... Now, I want Dinah, Red, watch this. You feed the beans. There's two little holes here, and Grandmother used to put she put her bean in there, and she would crank it. Well, you have to take the bean out like get it started because it won't start. Now you know. All right, now put your bean in there. And of course, it was fastened down, and you push down on your bean, and this thing is making Juliana bean. You see? It's making You see? Now right here. Well, you have to put more beans in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You see, you have to put more.
I figured that when I first saw it. Yeah.
Oh, there they are. They're underneath. They didn't come out the hole like they were supposed to. See, they're supposed to come out this little hole. But they were underneath. But anyway...
You know, he said 5 things right now that were straight lines to get 15 things cut off the air, just like that.
Let's put the beans in. Now, here's a little device.
Let me see this again. Yeah, let me show you something. Now, can you imagine some old lady saying, "Oh, we're going to have beans tonight. Beans. Hey, Charlie, come in and poke the beans for me, will you? Hey, Charlie, the beans.
It used to take all day. It used to take all day just to do everything.
Take all day to grind those? That's why once a year they had Jillian beans.
Cooking was not easy. I mean, it took a long time. Now, for people with dentures and people who cannot chew the corn with their own teeth, this was a device from the turn of the century they made for people who couldn't chew corn with their own teeth. You take the corn, and this has a little blade, you see, and you take your ear corn, and you run it up. Ooh, I'm sorry. Let's move it down this way a little bit. You run it up. Let's turn it around this way.
Yeah. Could you teach that thing not to spit?
Yeah. You run it up and down. You see how this does? And it takes the corn kernels right off.
What's all the red on them?
Well, it tastes what's ever there, but it did a beautiful job. Now, I'm going to clean up.
Have you got one?
I want to clean up. Here is something. Now, Red, this you'll
I'm dying for you to get to this, boy.
When Grandmother made buns, here was the device made 1907.
I'll tell you, boy.
This was in 1907. This was a bun maker from 1907.
That's a bun maker?
Bun maker, and it made 18 buns at one time.
All right, this has gone far enough. Get them kids out of here, will you?
You roll your dough out. Now you roll this over the dough, and it automatically will cut up 18 buns over the dough. That'll see. Well, you're not pushing hard enough because you're not cutting through your you have to cut through the dough. And you push down just a little harder on that. You see, that's it. There.
Oh.
Well, you see, he didn't press hard enough, but if he would have pressed real hard, it would have cut him through, and then you pop him. You pop.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I brought these back from the South Sea Islands. The real pearl.
You put that in the oven. Now, let me get to this. Let me show you real quickly. Let me get this out of here. You wanted to know what this was.
Oh, they're corks.
Dinah.
Corks. I know what they're for.
Oh, you know what they're for. This, you know, people in the kitchen used to have to do, they used to have to get their liquids into their bottles to preserve them. They would have to cork their own bottles, like their wines and their preserve. Now, this is a very early, about an 1896 bottle corker. Now, what you do, you soak your cork. You have to soak your cork for at least 2 hours, something like that, you see, because it has to be. Now, you take it like this.
You get them kids out of here.
Now, you take it like this, and you put your cork in the top of it. Oh, I lost it. Where'd it go?
No, it's there.
Is it there? Oh, it is there.
How long you been doing this?
Now, Dinah, you just take it and you push down on there.
I better hold this.
You push down and push it right.
Break your arm.
Push right. Okay? Mm-hmm. All right, now take it away. Take it away. Well, see, I knew that wasn't her cork is stuck in there. But ordinarily, if she didn't push it hard enough, ordinarily. Well, anyway, we'll move on to something else. Maybe we'll come to that. Now, over here.
My grandpa was always drunk. Can't get the cork in, Granny.
Now, this is absolutely marvelous. This thing here was made in St. Louis in... Oh, I lost one. Thank you. This thing was made in St. Louis in 1896, and this is... People used to have to put their turnips up for the year. They didn't have refrigeration, and you could pickle your turnips and put them in barrels with salt until the next hour. Now, this was made by a man. This is a turnip slicer. You slice your turnip. Now, here's what you do, Red. You try it. You sit on it like this. You sit on it. You sit on it. It's very easy to do. You just sit on it, and then I'm going to put the turnip in the machine. But you have to sit on it to hold it down. It won't hurt you. It won't hurt you. It really won't hurt you at all. You just sit on it, you see, and they had a barrel down here or a bucket, and they would catch them. Now you straddle it. You see how it's made to fit your leg. That's right. Now we put our turnip on there, and you push the handle down like this. Now you push this down. Now you turn the crank.
I ought to smack you right in the mouth.
You turn the crank.
Everywhere.
Well, here we are back on the Dinah Shore Show, and the surprise of the day.
Can you come over here? Because let me tell you what happened. This morning, they have classes that come through, and they're studying engineering, and they're studying television. And these young people are from the 3rd grade, and they are enchanting, and they were enchanted because at that moment, Red was going through a piece of business, and they sat there wide-eyed, starry-eyed, thrilled. They started to laugh, and came time to leave and move on to see the next show here at CBS, and the next show, and the next show, because this is a whole day's project with them. Well, we talked their teacher into letting them stay because they had never had the experience of seeing Red Skelton work in a particular spot, and particularly the one, I'm going to request one, that you were doing just for me when the kids came in. John, we're going to, the salad maker.
All right.
You want to set it up?
Yes.
Okay.
Where, you want me to go over here and do it?
Wherever,
All right.
darling.
Here, I'll have to pick here. Am I over here?
Anywhere. Is that good? That's perfect.
Oh, I'd like to do a little pantomime, if I may. And I'm going to take you to a little Greek restaurant. Well, that's all right.
Okay.
That's okay. I'm going to take you to a little Greek restaurant. Well, here, being you're here.
Lord, it's on here. It shouldn't. Right.
Have that back in an hour.
Yes, sir. You want, give me the best, too?
No. I can take you to a little restaurant and show you why they keep the lights down real low and show you the fellow who makes the salads for the dollar dinners.
while I was watching you do the pantomime of the Greek salad
Yes.
mixing. There are a whole bunch of kids, like these adorable kids here, haven't had a chance to see those things like my kids did and your kids did. And you know, it's really a shame they don't, you know, they'll see things that they see very verbal comedy, and they don't see that marvelous pantomime anymore.
But you know, Dinah, they are the greatest pantomime artists in the world. Pantomimists, I should say. Our children, you and I, like I say in the little book, Gertrude and Heathcliff, that Scribner says, we want this in here because it explains so much. That they imagine everything, and for the years they're left alone, whatever's at the house becomes their prop.
Yeah.
If they pretend they're riding a horse, they get on a broomstick. Or if they don't have a broomstick, they make sounds with their mouth, and they hit the sides. Then when they go in the house, they come back out, they've tied up the horse. But when they get back outside, they're now in an automobile. So they get in, and the greatest things in the world. And that's why it doesn't take too much to please children, really.
That's where it all starts,
Yeah,
though. Is
you
with
reach back
If you
and
can
then-
stay with a little bit of your childhood.
I never want to get any older. I mean, men call me a child boy and or a man child and things like that. But why grow old, you know? And why take life seriously? You're not going to get out of it alive anyhow. So.
Listen, I got a grown man here.
Yeah.
Grown man child.
He's quite a guy.
He is quite a guy. They say Perry Como sleeps when he sings. Well, let me tell you, here's a singer so dedicated that he sings in his sleep. Frank Sinatra Jr.
Because of you, there's a song in my heart. Because of you, my romance had its start. Because of you, the sun will shine. The moon and stars will say you're mine. Forever, never, never to part. 2, 3, 4, I only live for your love and your kiss. It's paradise being near you like this. So because of you, my life is now worthwhile, and I am gonna smile. Oh yes, just because of you. Let me hear some drums back there. My days were lonely days till you came along. But now my days are happy days. You filled my heart with song. Because of you, there is a song, and it's deep in my heart. And don't you know, because of you, my romance, it saw its start. Because of you, the sun will shine. The moon above me's gonna echo you are mine for now and forever and never to part. I only live for your love and your kiss. And don't you know it's paradise being near to you just like this? Yeah, because of you, my very life is now worthwhile. And I'm gonna smile. I'm gonna smile. Smile because of you.
Miss McKinley, this is butter country, and you're teaching my granddaughter's class to use margarine.
Correction, imperial margarine.
Oh, it's still margarine.
Oh, yes? Taste this.
That's good. That's not supposed to happen.
With imperial, it always happens. Imperial has the same basic flavor ingredients as butter.
So it tastes like butter.
You're learning. Flavor ingredients that make butter taste like butter make imperial taste like butter.
Coming up, another song by Frank Sinatra Jr. Red Skelton tangles with Paul and Mary Ritts and the Puppets. And we have a little number we do together, if I can convince him, and there's a hat and a picture. Anything you want. Next. I mean, this isn't the first time you two have met. You've known each other for a while.
Oh, gosh, a long time.
Yeah, you,
I believe the first time, and I don't even know if Red remembers this, Dinah, the first time I ever saw the great Red Skelton, and I say that honestly and sincerely, you know, I don't like sitting in the other room and watching him tell all of television about how he shuns the word genius. There's a fella I know who I'm related to who has a certain reputation in this business.
Yeah.
Known in Japan as Old Brew Eyes.
Oh, Brew Eyes.
And we were talking about Red Skelton one day, and he looked at me very, he said, you know, he's a genius.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he shuns.
Well,
you know.
he's an original. He's one of a kind.
First time I ever saw Mr. Skelton work, Dinah, he was filming a picture called Fuller Brushman.
Oh, yeah.
In 1948.
Gee.
That was how long. Then I worked with him, I'm happy to say, when he was on television on his own series.
Yes.
And I'm so unhappy that I only got to do it once because I did a show with him with Vincent Price.
And you were good.
And he did a Clem Cadiddle-hopper, which was called You Can Take the Boy Out of the Country If You Promise Not to Bring Him Back. And then we worked together in the nightclubs in Nevada a couple of times, and I wanted to ask Red if he would do something. I wanted the one joke he told in his act that broke me up. You have a hat, Red?
Yes,
we got one.
I wanted Red to tell you, give you his little joke about the two nuts in the nut house.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Watch the video.
That's not mine. I'm superstitious.
Oh.
Here.
Oh, I'll do that. Okay.
Yeah, I got mine here.
Oh, okay.
These two fellas up at the funny farm. And they just stepped out of their rubber rooms for a couple of minutes to... And they're walking. One says to his friend, he says, you know, he said, we can get out of here. The other guy says, we can? He says, well, how? He says, I got a big flashlight. Now, tonight we come out to the wall. I'll throw the light up against the wall, and you climb up the beam. The guy says, me climb up the beam? You really think I'm nuts, don't you? I know what you do. I get halfway up, you shut it off.
Did you ever want to be a comedian, Frankie?
Some of the critics say I am when I sing.
Nobody ever said that about...
No, I'm going to tell you something, though. He does have a great sense of humor, though.
I know. Well, look, he's laughing.
No.
He makes me laugh, so I really, when I watch him,
Well, listen.
He was reading. You want to hear something? He was reading in the newspapers one day in Reno when we were up there. There had been a tremendous robbery in a big drugstore in town, and we were in the coffee shop, and he's reading in the paper, and he said, "Look at this. The chief pharmacist came to work the next morning, and everything in this place had been stolen except two cases. One contained hair tonic, and the other contained birth control pills." So he folded the paper and he put it down. And he says, "Wouldn't it be funny if the police put out a bulletin out for a bald-headed Catholic?"
Oh, that's a funny one. Listen.
Bang, that's fast, you know.
That's funny. You told that really great. And I think maybe, Red says you have a great sense of humor, a great sense of timing. You did his show. Let's try something. We've got a joke here. Now, if you read it,
yeah,
it's a funny joke. You read the joke.
All right,
okay?
Let me see here. Now, it says you didn't show me this before I went on. You know,
no,
nobody
I know.
should. I know. Let me see what this says.
Things are on the spur of the moment here.
It says, these two seagulls are flying along. One is named Gertrude, and the other is Heathcliff. Gertrude turns to Heathcliff and says, "You know what I just saw? A yellow-bellied roadrunner." Heathcliff says, "Is that a bird?" And Gertrude says, "No, it's a pedestrian waiting for the light to change."
Yeah.
What is this, a silent majority?
No, there's a little something missing. Maybe it'd be funny if you...
No, there's something...
What? Maybe if you try it with a hat. See what happens.
I'll tell you what. Let's do it this way,
You
then.
want to coach me a little bit?
No, you read this first part, but see, what you got to do is to put your upper out just a little, like this, see? And when you talk, Always not too far, you'll snip your tie off. Now, can you brush up the side there? No.
I'm not a good...
By the way, did you see those two guys in the band over there?
I tried not to.
Yes. Now, you know, can you cut to those fellas for a minute?
They're all right unless they're roommates.
Yeah, look at this.
Which two?
Now, there, the guy. There's one fella there. They both got... Now, this one fella in particular, this I can't figure out at all. He's got hair down to his shoulder, he's got a beard down to his navel, and he shaves under his arms. Now, you figure this out.
I bet you wish you hadn't said that, all right?
Yeah.
I bet the whole network wishes you hadn't said that.
Here. Now, you take the first part there, and I'll be there. I'll say, is that a bird? And then you read the rest of it.
Get the punchline.
But you've got to work it up.
Okay,
see?
now let me see if I got this
We're
right
two
now.
seagulls.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. No, I can't read the card. No. Hey.
I think it's better if I just soar around here.
You ready? You ready? Ready? Here we go. You ready?
Okay.
Hey, guess what I just saw?
What's that, Gertrude?
I just saw a yellow-bellied roadrunner, Heathcliff.
Is that a bird?
No, that's a light waiting for the pedestrian to change.
Well, now that the joke's over, we got the bird. Don't worry.
Right?
Is Red going to do another pantomime, Dinah?
I don't think there'll be time today, will it?
Oh, I wish you'd let him do
I come back.
I tell you what we can do.
I wish you'd let him do the pantomime of the father in the maternity ward when he's trying to figure out which one of the babies is his. You ever seen him do that one?
Yes. Yes. But before we do that, before you do your song, there's something we really wanted to bring out here because we haven't had a chance to see them yet, and I think our young friends will enjoy it tremendously. I started to talk about how you make a friend, you know, out of your imagination. Here's Bobo the Clown and Magnolia the Ostrich, and they were created by Mary and Paul Ritts. They're going to recall those bittersweet times for us right now.
All right, Bobo, you get into bed now and take your nap. And I'll sing to you. When you're down and troubled and you need a helping hand and nothing, oh nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me. And soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. You've got a friend. You've got a friend. You've got a
Isn't that beautiful? You have written 2,000 songs.
Cinco.
Cinco? Would you cinco one of them for us? No, isn't that terrible?
Well, now, first of all, I'm not a singer. I write music and stuff, and I have this little song, and it's from a story that I've written called Trouble Duck. And it's about a little duck that looks for his mother, and then he falls in love, and it's a whole big thing with a little Rhode Island Red who's trying to put a stop to all Thanksgivings and Christmases and big meetings and fundraising dinners and stuff. Why should we chickens and ducks do this? So that's what it's all about. But this one little fella, he sings this little song. Now, as I say, I'm not a singer, so if they'll give me an introduction, I'll sing it. It's called, see, I've heard it myself. I don't care for it. I don't mind singing for you, but I ain't going to suffer, I'll tell you that. The birds are singing in the trees, her name is whispered by the breeze, and all because my love is coming home. She makes my every dream come true, she has no faults, well, just a few. That's why I'm glad my love is coming home. I'll kiss away her lonely tears, we'll be together through the years. I'll never, ever let her go again. And soon we'll hear the church bells ring, and soon we'll be remembering the autumns and the springs of days gone by. She is the answer to my prayer, she knows how much I really care. I need her love and her dear heart to share. I'll walk beside her on a cloud, my heart will burst, I'll be so proud, and all because my love is coming home. I'll kiss away her lonely tears, we'll be together through the years. I'll never, ever let her go again. And soon we'll hear the church bells ring, and soon we'll be remembering the autumns and the springs of days gone by. She is the answer to my prayer, she knows how much I really care. I need her love and her dear heart to share. I'll walk beside her on a cloud, my heart will burst, I'll be so proud, and all because my love is coming home. Yeah, Fido. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. I write all those things. I have song books and people write in for, and
That's great.
books on the Pledge of Allegiance and my oil painting prints, the prints. Could I say one thing?
Sure.
A lot of people, they saw me on Mike's show, Mike Douglas, and I told them where to write in, but they write in for the prints for $10, and they say, send me one of your oil paintings. And I have to write back and tell them they are prints. They're not the oil paintings, because this is not conceit, but I can't afford them.
Here, listen.
So they write to Anza, California.
Anza, California.
Post Office Box 136, Anza.
136 Anza.
Yes.
Okay.
And
you know, if I may be serious for a moment, Tuesday night was Red Skelton night, or Red Skelton night was Tuesday night. It's hard to differentiate between the two. And I watched Tuesday night, and there's not as much laughter on television as there was when you were doing the shows. I mean, I watch Hawaii Five-0, and I just don't find it as funny as Red Skelton. And I don't think, the news isn't as funny as
frost warnings are deadening now.
Yeah, it's not as funny. It's not as funny. And I thought maybe...
I like that Forest Lawn commercial. That's pretty good.
Yeah, a few ha-has in that one, yeah. But I thought maybe we... Did I say something funny?
Yes.
I so seldom do, thank you. Okay, listen, anyway, I was going to sing a little song, and...
Where'd you get the ice cream?
Where's the ice cream?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's mine.
And I was going to sing a little song, and I thought maybe you would fill in when I leave open spots. Would you?
All right.
Okay. funny stories and the sketches that you play, with the many characters that you portray. I can still recall how I reacted hearing San Fernando read.
Oh, yes, sir. I tell you, this is the way it is. I'm running for office, and I'd like to say one thing, that all bedtime stories don't start with once upon a time. Some of them starts with, if I'm elected. But I'd like to say one thing, that I'm not going to throw mud at my opponent because he's a fine man. And his wife is a mighty fine woman. Mighty fine woman. What he sees in that dame he's running around with, I'll never know.
I remember Clem Cadell Harper every time he said,
Well, sir, I'd like to stay around a little bit longer, but I got to go to my dog now.
You have a dog?
Yes, I got a dog.
Oh, does he have a pedigree?
What?
Does your dog have a family tree?
No, I have a pedigree. He had puppies once.
Oh.
Did he have a what?
A family tree.
He's really asking for it, ain't he? No, he's, no family tree. He's just a mongrel. He's not particular at all, you know.
Well, you see, dogs have pedigrees.
Oh?
I have a Pekingese.
Pekingese?
Mm-hmm.
They're expensive, huh?
Oh, a good peak is worth $5,000.
You want to come again? This time, don't drag your feet. A good peak is worth what?
$5,000.
Really? I wouldn't give that much for a blueprint.
Oh, they were great, happy shows, and the minutes just flew by. And how I would laugh when George Appleby came by.
Oh, yeah, George Appleby, and I bet I forgot my glasses. Oh, no, good heavens. Well, that's all right. We don't need them.
Anybody got some glasses?
No, that's all right.
Ellis, give me your glasses.
No, I don't need them. Don't need them. Yeah, give me yours. That's fine.
That's
There
good.
you are. Thank you very much. I'll buy all your holy pictures. Thank you. Oh, sir, dear, I'll be sure glad when we get up to see that doctor because my head is just killing me. My head is...
Oh, I told the doctor it was your stomach.
No, dear, it's my head. It's just murder. It's my head.
I told him it was your stomach.
Oh, okay, if you say so, dear.
Now, when we get in there, where in your stomach will you tell him it hurts?
Right between my ears.
Peggy was another, he would appear and wow.
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you, a lot of the fighters, they stay in the ring too long and they start hearing bells and birds. You know, they hear bells. Not me. I'll give up the old fight game before. Boy, a flock of them went over that time, didn't they? You know, you really think I'm punchy, don't you? You ought to teach some of them rattlers down at the gum. The gym, pardon me. They're really gone. And every time a pretty girl goes by, oh, there's a robin redbird. Every time a pretty girl goes by that gymnasium, they stick their heads out the window and whistle at them.
Well, now, what's wrong with that?
There's no windows in that gymnasium. I know. I watch them every Saturday.
Cauliflower, you're really gone.
Oh, did I tell you when I'd be back?
Oh, brother.
We're related. Oh, is it cat
and a ho, 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 oh, for those great laughs now. And how the world used to laugh. And there were many times that cheered when lo and behold, the mean widow kid appeared.
There I'm the mean little kid, but I'm not so mean, you know. I just want to know things. And the other day, my mommy said to me, would you like a little brother or a sister to play with? I said, yeah, that would be nice. So she said, we're going to have the baby. I said, we're going to have the baby? Oh, we're going to have the baby. We're going to have the baby. And I went to school singing, we're going to have the baby. We're going to have the baby. So the teacher calls and tells my mommy how I'm acting, see? So she says, you happy? I said, yeah, I'm happy, because we're going to have the baby, you know. She says, would you like to feel him? And I said, do what? She said, you like to feel him? Said, over here to the elbow and over here to the little knee.
Well, aren't you happy about the baby now?
We're not going to have the baby.
You're not?
No, Mommy ate him.
But Freddie, the freeloader, started to speak. Hey, wow.
Oh, I tell you, it's really been lovely to be here today, you know. And would you care for a cigar?
No, thank you.
I didn't do so well this morning. It was raining when I got up. I followed a guy all day. I thought he'd never throw this one away, you know. Oh, well. They don't make them like they used to. Actually, that's what they look like when they're whole, you know.
Oh, I
you know.
see. I see.
I'm pretty sure, see, they only gave you a card. They didn't give me one.
Oh, you gave us great laughs, ha, ha, ha. Thousands of great laughs, hee, hee, hee. Now for those great laughs now.
Believe where the time has gone.
Well, that's it. What you know. I don't believe how television, personally speaking, has been able to survive this long without Red Skelton.
I don't either.
Well, you know, I tell you, I'm a firm believer of one thing, that the cemetery is full of people that we couldn't do without.
Hey, listen, will you come back and we'll sing a song?
Anytime.
And I'm going to talk Red into coming back on because he hasn't done the MGM Lion for us, and he hasn't done the drunk that walked. There are a lot of them. And then
See, you know what I'm doing now on my personal appearances, and I'm going to be at the Nugget in Reno between Christmas and New Year's. I'm going to be there New Year's Eve, and I'm doing the donut routine again.
Oh, you're kidding. Yeah, thank you, Frank. Thank you, Stan.
Be here again tomorrow when Dinah welcomes Wayne Newton, Garson Kanan, and Kent McCord. That's tomorrow at 3:30. Now stay tuned for Channel 2 News next. And be watching when Bill Cullen welcomes Joan Rivers and Tony Randall to the fun on the $25,000 Pyramid tonight at 7:30 on Channel 2.